This video will demonstrate setting up Google Forms with Flubaroo. Well, in the last video lesson you saw a quick little demo about a product called Flubaroo. Flubaroo is a free script that will auto-grade your assessments if you're giving those assessments with Google Forms. So let's see how to set this up. First of all, again, log into Moodle, and then on the left-hand side, click the NP Google Drive. On your Google Drive homepage, you'll see your assessment that you created, and then you'll also see the responses. Let's just go ahead and start by opening up our responses. And again, that's all listed in a spreadsheet. What we're going to do now is we're going to install the script called Flubaroo. So let's go up to Insert and then Script. That'll open up the script gallery. And here what we're going to do is we're going to do a search for Flubaroo. That's F-L-U-B-A-R-O-O. And when you do a search, Flubaroo will come up. And then you simply click Install. After it's installed, you have to allow authorization, so just click Continue. And then at the bottom, when you scroll down, click Accept. Once you've allowed authorization, you'll click Close. And now you'll see on your menu bar that it adds this extra little tab here called Flubaroo. You'll have to do this for each assessment that you give through Google Forms. So every time you give a new Google Form assessment, if you want it to auto-correct with Flubaroo, you'll have to reinstall that script. But once it's installed, you can just simply click on Flubaroo, and then you'll go to Grade the Assignment. When the script loads, it wants to know some information. It's going to do a pretty good job of identifying what identifies the student, and then also recognizing where your questions probably are. If you have a question that's more of an opinion question, you can remove the points to say skip grading. Otherwise, you can also award more points if it's a more difficult question. You want to give it a higher point value. And then we'll click on Continue. From here, the second step is Flubaroo wants to know where the correct answers are located. So I'm just going to select on the name of the teacher that created the quiz. So she took the quiz and entered all the correct answers, obviously. So that's going to be our answer sheet. So Flubaroo is going to use that as basically the answer sheet for correcting the rest of these assignments. And then I'll click Continue. And then Flubaroo will process the grades, and you can just click on View Grades. So here we can see a list of all the students that took the test, and then it's going to do some color coding along with that. One of the areas of color coding is it'll highlight in red any students that it has that did not perform well on the assessment. So here you can see that Sean only got 50% on this, so his name is highlighted in red, and that just kind of pulls that information out for the teacher a little bit more quickly. As we scroll over to the right, you'll begin to see the questions listed and the average score, or the average number of students that answered that correctly. So you can see question number 3 here. From where does most water evaporate? That was answered correctly by everyone in the class. So what Flubaroo will also do is it'll highlight, so you can see that we have a question over here in orange where only 50% of the students answered it correctly. That'll let the teacher know which question is kind of an area of concern, or which question students are having trouble with. Well, once this is all done, you can see now that we have 2 tabs down here. One is the Grades tab, and one is our Submissions tab. So like for this question that was highlighted in orange, we can go back to the student submissions, and we can see, well, what were the students answering? You can kind of see we were all over the board a little bit. Quite a few of them had water, but we had one here that answered it with oxygen. Another had the right answer, but you can see that they had a typo or they misspelled it. So Flubaroo can't identify what the student was trying to say. They can only compare it to what the correct answer was. So in this case, it would have marked it wrong because it was not spelled correctly. But another powerful feature about Flubaroo is the fact that once this is completed, you then can email the grades. So again, up on our Flubaroo tab, we can go to Email Grades. And it's going to ask where is the student's email. And again, that email is listed in this username column, so username is correct. Include a list of questions and scores. Yes, I want that included. And then you can include the answer key so that the student knows what the correct answer was. And if you'd like, you can also add a quick little note. Once you've entered your note, click Continue. Flubaroo will process all the information. It says 6 grades were successfully emailed. Once Flubaroo emails all of the grades and any other comments that you listed, it'll also put here in the emailed grade column, it'll put a little X letting you know which emails were sent. This video demonstrated how Flubaroo can be installed and grade your Google Forms.